So I printed this, and this, and this, and this one, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this one, and this big bust, and this big giant, with zero fails. And I printed for the very first time. This video is totally not sponsored. This Elegoo printer was a gift from my friends back in August, but for the past 3 days, I've been printing like crazy. Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to my channel. This channel is supported by all these awesome brands. Also, special thanks to the Army Painter for making this project and video possible. The past week, I'm trying to watch like 3D printing videos and I always see like problems, or some are a bit like clickbait, but most are like solutions to problems in regards to 3D printing. So I was like, do I want to do this? Because there are so many problems when it comes to 3D printing. But when I tried it, I'm not getting any fails. I was like printing like crazy and it always almost comes out perfect. So I don't really know what I did right or wrong, but the models are just, when they come out of the printer, they're just like, they're perfect. The details are very nice, and of course, there are no like major mistakes or imperfections. There's a little bit of warping on the huge bases sometimes, but other than that, the models themselves are perfect. I started with the standard 32mm figures from Creature Caster. I printed the male assassins and then followed it up by printing this like female assassins, and then of course 3 dwarves. I did not print the bases because I plan to do a diorama, because now that I can print my own miniatures, my own 3D printed miniatures, I think I could design some sort of vignette or dioramas with them. So I did not print the bases for the small 32mm figures. And then I proceeded to printing this one from Mammoth Factory, and I painted it already. The Mammoth Factory model came out really nice. It's also perfect. The details are really sharp and it was so fun painting it. I'll release the video of the painting and you'll see why I really like the printing and the model. While painting the Mammoth Factory model, I then printed like this 75mm from Creature Caster, and what I did is I increased the size to 10%. So these are 110% scale or size. So it's 82.5, I guess. Since I scaled up these models, I was expecting to like fail. I was actually trying to fail while I was printing the other models, or just trying to tweak them so that I could expect failures with the print because I tweaked the settings and stuff. So with this one, it came out really nice too, but I kind of tweak like the bottom layer curing. It's still perfect. I did not fail in the printing of the 75mm models. And then I move on to printing this one. This is a 32mm model. I scaled it up to, I think, 200%, but it came out nicely. However, but since I scaled it up, all of the supports also scaled up. So I had a hard time like removing the supports because they're kind of thick. They're pretty big. I had to use pliers to remove the supports, but the model itself is still perfect. And then I move on to scale up this one roughly around just 20%. This model came out nicely. Again, the base is also nice, no warping, similar to the previous one. And the details are very sharp too. It's also perfect, but the supports were easier to remove because it was only 20% bigger than the original. And then I move on to printing this Minotaur from Creature Caster. It's also scaled up to roughly around 20%. And again, it came out nicely. I did not print the base though, because again, I plan to use it for a diorama. So after printing all these models, I want to challenge the printer, or I actually want to fail. I actually want to have a failed print. So what I did is I printed a bust, a really big one. It doesn't even fit like the normal scale that Creature Caster has. Doesn't fit like the platform. So I had to reduce the scale to 90% to be able to print this one. And it was awesome because the supports are thinner. When I removed the supports of this bus, it was like so easy. I just twisted it and then it was removed almost automatically. It was so satisfying. But since it was scaled down a little bit, I was sad because I have a small printer. But then again, it's kind of big for a bust, so it's fine. But I want a bigger printer. Now I really want to like try to fail at this point, so I printed this really big giant. I think this is called corrupted titan. I had to print the torso and the legs in one like setting, in one printing, and then print this one, the hammer and the backpack. That was the longest printing time because it's pretty tall. It was supported like this, and it was pretty tall. It took 6 hours and 30 minutes. But again, it came out really nice and perfect. The details are perfect. And then I printed the base. So the base is not perfect. It's not really that round. There's a little bit of like melting on one side, but that's easy to fix. You just have to sand it. But then again, I plan to use this for a diorama piece, so I don't really care about the base. I just want it to like as a section of the diorama, but I have to extend the base so that I create a nice scene. So all of my printing, even if it was my first time, were perfect. But I kind of like did variations with the curing time and of course the scaling so that I could see what would fail. But again, I had zero fails with the printing of these models. I think what I really did right is that I kind of cleaned the printer well after printing. So I made sure that the platform and the vat is clean every time I finish a printing project. And then also another thing is that I did not tweak the settings to make the printing faster. I actually extended the curing time whenever like a layer cures. I forgot the setting, but whenever the layer cures, instead of like 32 seconds, I think I made it into 35 seconds at some point. It made it more difficult to remove on the platform, but the details are very sharp, and again, I had no fails with the printing. I also cleaned the actual print. I cleaned it really well with 99% alcohol. And then after cleaning the prints well, I tried to cure each model. The bigger models I tried to cure for roughly around 20 minutes. The smaller models are roughly around 5 or 10 minutes. This one per section is roughly 20 minutes curing. And then I made sure that it's properly cured, and like I put my nail on the model. If it doesn't feel soft and rubbery, it's nicely cured already. Whenever I finish printing during the day, I let it cure for a couple of hours under the sun. But then again, I still use the blue light, the UV light, for like 10 or 15 minutes per chunk or per model. So it depends on like if it's morning or if it's nighttime. But I try to make sure that the models are nicely cured before even priming them. I also tried to see if the primer will react or whatsoever, or I will produce cracking after the printing. So I primed a few of the models. I actually painted the Mammoth factory model already, and I'm not getting any cracking, and the model painted nicely with this one. And this one, the primers are really nice. I will re-prime them again in black. I just have to keep them gray for this video. So that's it, Pansit. I hope you like this video. I just wanted to share my experience with Elegoo Mars 4 Ultra, and it was perfect. The prints are very sharp. So far, I'm not getting any cracking, and the prints are beautiful. So I'll make a couple of dioramas out of the smaller models and this one. And then of course try to create more tutorials with the other models. I hope more people will get into 3D printing. Although if you search the web, it seems like there's so many problems. Like I said, I did not get any fails, and it was so fun. It was so satisfying to remove the supports. It was so like enjoyable to clean the models, and after priming they look so good. So I really want to like encourage people to get like a small printer. I only have experience with Elegoo, and it worked mighty fine. It worked perfectly. It's a hobby into itself, I think. But I think I have to stop printing because I have to paint these models instead of creating more like printed models that I will never paint. So I will try to paint now, and I hope you like this video. Unfortunately, this is my first 3D printing video, so I only have painting videos. I hope if you like this video, you'll also like my painting videos. Until next video, guys. Bye!